couple of announcements because I don't want to keep you on here super long. Double Times out. I haven't got to try it yet. I'm really excited about it though. I've been seeing a lot of like really incredible videos from it and just like people posting about how much fun it is, actually how challenging it is. So I at first kind of was just thinking, oh, this will be like a parents and a kids thing. Now I'm thinking it's kind of a fun way to get your spouse involved, your boyfriend involved, family members involved. Like I know I'm going home for a week in November because my dad's actually getting married. So I might, pull my mom in or pull my sister in or something like that. So don't ever like rule, because I was even thinking the same thing when Clean Week came out. I was like, oh, this looks really basic. I don't know if this is really going to be for me. And I did all 7 of them last week and I was super challenged. So the thing that we always need to remember is we need to kind of like always be that person that tries everything out when it comes to our performance line, when it comes to Beachbody On Demand, because we really need to know what will work for other people and how to like talk about certain things to other people. Next thing is the November to Remember registration that's open. It's this, I guess it's a contest basically, but it's going to be 2 people per team. So this is a really good way for like you to get partnered up with one of your coaches even to kind of like kickstart each other to earn Success Club. And then the highest Success Club earners get to give back a prize to a local charity or PTA. So I freaking love that. I think that's so cool how Beachbody is always doing some kind of charity work. So that's really all that's going on right now. We're halfway through October, which is like wild that we're coming up into November. And this call is like super basic. I mean, I barely even had anything to really like use as the description. But Natalie kind of mentioning, common sense is not always common practice the other day and misfits. Really made me think about a couple things as far as a text I just got recently from a coach on our team, a couple messages I just got recently, and it really made me think that a lot of times we're not doing the things that are actually the simplest of things to be doing here. And I know like when Misfit Legion was switching over to Misfits, I was reading a lot of this team's whys in the comments. And like every single person said at one point or another in their comment that they wanted to either inspire other people to feel the way that they feel, help other people feel the way that they feel, or, give other people the opportunity to change their lives the way our lives have been changed. And, basically I'm pretty sure every single person could raise their hand on this team and say that they want to help people. So this is kind of a wake-up call, and this is something that I went through as well, a wake-up call I had to go through once in my coaching business because I was really, really stuck on I just want to help people. Yeah, I wasn't helping people. I was letting my own fears and insecurities stand in the way of reaching out to others and helping them change their lives. So I actually just wrote this little post-it up on my computer. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, get over your shit and go help people. And that's just kind of a daily reminder that a lot of times, what's holding us back is ourselves, and it's our own fears and our own insecurities. So I had to ask myself a really tough question one time. I had to ask myself if I was being selfish by not reaching out to people and inviting them because I had my own fears and rejections that were holding me back. And the thing is like, that's okay if that's what's holding you back. If those are your fears and that's what you're insecure about, as long as you have the strength, and it does take strength to identify our weaknesses. As long as you want to identify that that's your fear and you want to overcome it, then you know what to be working on. But until you like sit there and say, okay, like why haven't I reached Success Club? I'm afraid to reach out to people. Why am I not attracting more engagement on my social media? Maybe it's because I'm not being as raw and vulnerable and taking the criticism and the suggestions that I'm learning and things like that. So the first thing we have to do is stop and ask ourselves, why am I not progressing? Why am I actually not helping people? Because how many of us could really just take a look at ourselves right now and be like, am I really helping people? Am I really like doing others a service daily in some way, shape, or form? And I had to seriously, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I broke down into tears probably around a year ago now when I'd missed a Success Club goal. And I was like, I'm not serving others to the capacity that I want to serve them. I'm not helping people at the way that I want to help them, because I'm standing back and not doing the simplest of things because I'm just afraid I'm not going to be good enough, or I'm afraid I'm going to fail. But it's so much worse to like not do it, because sitting in that regret and that guilt of not overcoming that fear is a lot more painful. So once you know what you're afraid of, once you know what's holding you back, you can move on from it. You can grow through it. But the question is, do you want to? That's a question we all have to ask ourselves. Do I want to get over these fears? Do I want to get over these insecurities? So the first thing to focus on, do you believe in these products? Do you believe that that you can lead other people through these products and these programs? And I'm kind of speaking to everyone because I know, Ciara, you have a transformation story, but it's not okay anymore to just be like, I don't have a transformation story. I can go a week committing to a program and I have a transformation story, because something changes in at least a week. It doesn't have to be that you're at your goal yet. It doesn't have to be, some insane amount of weight loss, but within a few days, within 7 days, within 3 weeks, we have a lot to talk about if we're committed, if we're sharing that and being vulnerable about it, if we're being products of the product. I know for a fact you will find something to talk about. You will create a story and you will develop a transformation. Even if you've only been coaching for a week, you have a transformation. It's possible in the shortest amount of time. But that should be always something that we're working on first. And I don't just mean with your workouts. If you are not plugging into some kind of personal growth every day, I just recently started getting up every single morning and not hitting my snooze, because that was like a huge problem for me. My boyfriend gets home like super late, so he sleeps in a lot because his schedule is just random, so he doesn't really have like a normal pattern of sleep. So it's so hard for me because a lot of times I don't go to bed with him, so it's like super hard for me to get out of bed in the morning while he's still laying there. Like, I just want to stay in bed. I do not want to get up. I want to sleep in. And I tell myself, like, it's okay, you can sleep in. Like, you create your own hours. It's not going to hurt you. But it is hurting me because I'm not starting my day with a win. I'm starting my day with procrastination. I'm starting my day with, you'll get to it later. It's not that important to you. And that's not a good way to set a tone for the day. Now, I'm not saying like this needs to be your new practice, but I will say that those kind of things make a difference in our businesses. The way we are planning our day, the way we're speaking to ourselves each day, not addressing mental barriers that are there when, we immediately address that we have 5 pounds to hurry up and lose. But do we want to immediately address that we're putting ourselves down and we don't believe in ourselves and, we're procrastinating and we're not disciplined? That's a really hard thing to address, but that is the number one thing that will hold us back in this business. So just by waking up every day and getting up at my first alarm, by not hitting snooze and getting back into bed, I already feel this sense of like just a very small shift in the way I'm approaching each day. So pay attention to your habits, to your disciplines. Are you even making time to sit down and give yourself growth time, or whatever you want to call it? All right. Are you sharing these things? And I don't just mean like, I know we talk about this all the time, but I honestly don't just mean, here's my workout selfie, or here's this and here's that. Do you have intention behind what you're talking about? And I don't just mean intention for a sale. That's not what I mean at all. I mean intention to add value to somebody's life, to attract somebody to you and create curiosity through what you're saying about the products and about the business. Because like I said, if we are afraid to share those things, and trust me, I have my fears and I work on getting through them. But if we're afraid to share that, that's just another way that we're being selfish. That's just another way that we're not really doing our due diligence to do exactly what every single person on this team says they want to do, which is help people. But I don't believe that we're doing that enough. I don't believe we're doing that hardly at all to the, you know, I don't know what word I keep looking for, to the amount or whatever that I feel like we could be. Because we all have really incredible hearts and really incredible transformations already, but there's something there, whether it's fear, discipline, habits, personal growth, that's holding us back. You can talk about where you were before Beachbody. Talk about where you are now. Talk about where you're going to go. I've been sharing more and more and more about being out of debt and supporting my family, because in 2 to 5 years, that's going to be my life. I don't, I'm not going to sit and be like, I know exactly how I'm going to make that happen, because I know it's going to be hard to figure out along the way, but I know I'm committed to figuring it out. I know I'm committed to that vision. So that means I'm going to 1000% make it happen. So whatever vision that you have, maybe it's Success Club at the end of this month, that has to be something that you're committed to, and that you're going to be committed to the actions that it takes to get there. So your social media is your storefront. My gosh, my dog is freaking out down there. Your social media is your storefront. And if it's just kind of open sometimes, if it's, a storefront that looks the same as all the other 400,000 coaches that are in this network, not a lot of people are probably going to stop and look, or stop and ask questions, or stop and open your door. It has got to be a display of you. And all these fears I'm talking about, anything that has ever held you back in this business, or, rejections and skepticisms, that's all stuff that you can share. Because how many eyes do you think are out there right now that have been watching you and are like, no way, this would probably never work for me. No way I could probably do what she does. That Shakeology stuff is probably a scam. She's got to be doing something else. There's no way she can lose this weight with portion control. Address those things. Address skepticisms that you have. It has to talk to somebody's pain points. Use your own pain points. Even if you're like just so subtly like talking about a moment that you had one time in front of the mirror. And I'm just using these as examples. Or, that you tried on a pair of pants last Thanksgiving and they were super tight and you never wanted to feel like that again. Those are all things that someone can paint a picture in their mind and kind of relay that to their life. That has to be consistent though. We cannot just do that once and be like, oh, okay, like I shared, I was really vulnerable. That's not going to work, because half the time, half the people that you're probably friends with don't see one of your posts just one time. And a lot of people trust you the more you share those types of things. The more you're vulnerable, the more they're going to trust you. When I moved to Florida, I had no idea who anyone was except for Natalie. And it was super scary to make new friends, because I was from a town where like literally everyone I knew I'd pretty much known since kindergarten, or we had a mutual friend. So there was some way that I slightly trusted them, from the beginning, at least to like say hello and not feel weird. These people are only watching you on your social media. They don't know who you are. So it's up to you to tell them who you are, to make them feel like they could reach out to you, to make them feel like they could be in one of your fitness groups and not feel weird. Because let's think about how scary it is to admit we have a problem that we want to fix. So freaking scary. Like, it's so terrifying, let alone to tell anybody else about it, but to tell yourself, okay, I really need to lose this weight. Okay, I'm depressed. Okay, I am literally sick at what my life looks like right now. How hard is that to even commit to even admit to yourself, let alone talk to somebody else about? That's what creating that trust on social media will do. And it has to be consistent over time, because if we're just sometimes talking about it, then people will just be like, well, sometimes she's real and sometimes she's vulnerable. And do you have a plan? Do you, like, when was the last time you set a date for a challenge group? So I used to run my challenge group so willy-nilly. It was so awful because I was so stressed out all the time. I would just like randomly pick a date when I knew I was behind in Success Club. And then I would just be scrambling to invite people to it. And then they would feel that. My social media posts would feel that. And then everything was just about me hitting Success Club. And that's not saying that should not be our number one goal, because that is the point of being a coach, is to help people. But when you do it that way, it's very like you're taking all of the serving out of it. It shouldn't be about us. It should be about, I'm setting this goal, or I'm setting this date for this challenge group this month because I cannot wait to fill it with people. Like, I cannot wait to set this date, bust my butt and invite people to it, fill it up. It doesn't have to have 20 people in it. 5, 3, fill that challenge group, know what day it starts, and commit to the fact that you will fill that challenge group up. Because I know for a fact, if you consistently daily are a product of the product, you are sharing your journey on social media authentically, you are reaching out to people and inviting people, I'll get to that, that challenge group will fill up. You will hit your goals. And that's what kind of takes me, sorry, she's, I can hear her like yelping to go outside, but I'm almost done. That's kind of what takes me to like the point of this call, is like we overcomplicate all of this so much. And a successful day, a successful coach to me is somebody that has a plan with other people's interests, best interest at heart, and is not standing behind their own fears to invite people to change their life. So that's the next thing that you have to do. You have to invite people. I don't care if it's 50 people a day or 3 people a day. You have to open your mouth and invite them. And the girl that I actually just got to shout out on social media, I went back to our conversation and screenshotted something, because I was like, how did I even get to know her? Like, I was like, I don't know her, so I don't know, when did we connect? And I literally reached out to her like back in May, and just randomly was like, oh my gosh, I love your profile picture. That outfit is so cute. We just talked like back and forth a little bit. And then I reached back out and said, hey girl, I'm hosting a new group this month for some fitness and nutrition. I feel like I never know who needs that extra support. Like, I know I did. Are you working towards any goals right now, or interested in learning more about the group? Literally so simple. And what she wrote back was, sorry for the late response, but yes, I would love to hear more. Mickey. So basically the point of that is, she thanked me tonight. She's like, I'm so glad that you reached out to me. And I'm like, me too. And you know why I kind of like made this shift is because I realized, like, what do I really have to lose if every single person in a day tells me no? Will I continue to show up for the people that are going to say yes? What do those people mean to me? Like, that's what we have to look ourselves, and we have to look in the mirror and say, are you willing to be told no for the people who want to say yes? Because it will feel slow. It's going to feel hard. It's no coach in this business is going to say, I'm going to tell you, I do not just easily earn Success Club. Nobody does. Every single coach has struggled, especially at the beginning. But as soon as something's off up here, that's when the struggle happens. It's automatic. It's just something that we have to become aware of. So will you show up for the people that want to say yes? They just haven't been asked yet. So this other text that I got was kind of the other inspiration for this call. It was from a coach on our team. And she basically said, hey, I reached out to a little over 50 people this week, and I tried to put myself out there. I tried to put myself out of my comfort zone. Some never responded, some weren't interested, and some were interested but weren't ready. Some were waiting to hear back, but just wanted to send you an update. I know it's not super successful, but I was pretty proud for reaching out. I know it's not super successful. What? That is incredibly successful. That's what we don't see. It's all in how we're looking at this. If you think a successful day is always going to end in a yes or a Success Club point or a challenge pack sale, you're in the wrong business. When I was bartending, a successful shift was ending with a wad of cash. But that's just not the way that this works. A successful day is when you show up and you push yourself out of your comfort zone, like she did. You reach out to people, like she did. You invite people, and you get told no, or you get told they're not interested, or you get told they're interested and not right now, or you get told they are interested, but you don't know until you ask. And you don't know, especially until you show up. So will you go through that slow growth that it takes to get there? Because if you do those things, you can pat yourself on the back every night and say, I had a successful day. I was there for the people who could have potentially said yes. And every single one of those people, and this is what I told her, the ones that said no, the ones that weren't interested, the random ass people that you added on Facebook that might see that challenge group the next day, that challenge group post the next day, they would have never seen that had you not added them. That's happened to me before. I added this girl, and like, I'm literally the next day, she commented on my challenge group post. I'm like, I don't even know you accepted my friend request. But that's how vital those like small, almost meaningless at times things in this business can be. So remind yourself, I don't know what you have to do every day to remind yourself that a success sometimes in this business is actually, might feel like a failure when you don't get told yes, or because all those people are going to watch her. Every single person that you add or that you reach out to are going to watch you. They're going to keep building that trust in their mind. Or you can ask them again. Or they'll come back. Or they might not ever. But that's not up to us to decide. That's up to them to decide. So create new relationships, invite to a group, and connect every single day. Some days I don't get all that done, but I always connect with people, whether it's my current challengers, whether it's my coaches. That when I shifted my focus there, my entire business shifted. So I want you to keep this in mind. When you set out to do your first 30-minute workout, did you think that one workout was going to change your entire life or build your whole business? And did you feel like a failure when that first workout didn't get that amount of weight off that you wanted or get you into the jeans that you've been dying to get into? No, it didn't. But we all knew it was going to feel slow. But we all knew that that end goal was important and that we wanted it, and we never gave up. And we still don't give up. We still show up for 30 minutes every day. And that weight and those inches have, by God, fallen off because we showed up every single day. And even though that first day, it did not seem like we'd moved a mountain yet, that first day and that second day and that third day, those all add up eventually. And that's when your business starts to move. But none of that would have happened had we not pressed play, had we not just showed up and kept showing up and been consistent. So that's really all I got. I got to let my dog out. She's freaking out. I hope that was helpful. Basically, it just gives you an idea, of what every day should look like. Don't overcomplicate it, and don't feel like a failure because, you didn't immediately reach a goal in 24 hours. If you're pushing on, the 28th, 29th, 30th of a month to reach a goal that you set 30 days ago, that might feel defeating, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's how I used to run my business, and it was horrible because I wasn't truly ever helping people see success. I was just like rushing to get people. I lost confidence in myself and belief in myself. When I set a plan for a date of a challenge group every single month, it's like, oh my God, because you can't invite anyone unless you have a challenge group, right? So like, I was like always wondering like, well, how do I invite? Because I don't have a challenge group. That's the first step. Plan your month. And if you need help with these things, you guys know, just ask. Post in the team page. There's resources out the butt on YouTube and in our team page. That one thing that's holding you back, remember I said identify that fear and see why you're not moving forward and going towards what you want to do, which is help people. Figure out that vision for yourself. When you press play on that 30-minute workout, I know we all wanted to lose that weight or get in those jeans. So what is at the end of the tunnel with you for this business? Okay, baby. That's what you got to ask yourself, okay? And if you have to write it on a Post-it and put it at the top of your computer or put it on a bulletin board behind you or on the back of your phone screen, do whatever you have to do every day to remind yourself. Why is that 30-minute workout important? You know why. So why is that 30 minutes to an hour that you could literally crush every single thing that I just talked about important to you? It's not about working endless amount of hours. It's about doing the right things and doing them consistently. All right, that's all I have. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to peace out. Thanks for hopping on here. I hope this was helpful and good. I will get the recording up immediately. All right. Good night, girl. Bye.